Hi there, my name is Ursula. I am a solicitor at Family First Solicitors, and people often ask me if you know, knowing what you know, if you don't have any money, how would you proceed with your DIY divorce? How would you do it yourself with most speed, the littlest cost, and above all, getting it right? This is on the assumption that neither of you have any real money to spend on lawyers, and that's fine. Lots of people don't. Um, Here's how I'd start. Number one, I'd go and find my marriage certificate. You might as well get your actual divorce up and running. Remember, that's online. It's easy peasy. It's just click, click, click. It's very easy to get your online divorce up and running. If you can, do it jointly with your ex. If you can't, do a sole one. They can't stop you getting divorced anymore. Um, Number two, I would read a lot around the subject of the divorce, money and finances, and children as well. Try and take your advice from fairly unbiased, fairly independent places. I would say that most law firms have lots and lots of blogs on their websites. Things like Money Saving Expert, they have a divorce forum, Mumsnet, of course. But again, you might find that a kind of bias creeps in. So be careful about what you read. So sort of tip three, if you like, is don't read too much. Sometimes you just need to get on with it. Um, Thing four, I would, assuming you don't have big money, I would line up at least £1,000, maybe 5,000 quid if you could stretch that much in some form, so credit cards, etc., etc., just in case you need some help. But the idea is to spend almost none of that or as little as possible. Next thing I'd do is I would check out the help with fees part of the government website, and I know that this little banner we've got up, it doesn't have a hyperlink, which I'm sorry about, but take a picture on your phone and jump to it, or cut and paste it into something that you can actually get a hyperlink with. Help with fees is the government allowance for people on a low income not to pay all of or some of their court fee. And the divorce fee is more than £600. So it is really worth it if you can get that saved. Secondly, I would find our Facebook page. We do something called the 60-minute clinic. We did it for years. We're starting it up again. This is where you can just ask a question about process or a problem you're having in a divorce, and we will answer it for nothing. So that might be something you find that really useful. So check out our page, Family First Solicitors. It's every Thursday, 8 o'clock on a live basis. I would really, really read around non-court dispute resolution. And remember, that doesn't just mean mediation. Mediation is the one that everybody knows about. By the way, you can get, with most mediators, you can get a £500 mediation voucher. So that will get at least one session for you paid off. So that's a good way of saving money in a divorce. And non-court dispute resolution can mean something like you get a third lawyer to look at the one issue that you can't settle and ask them what they think about it, or doing arbitration, or doing single solicitor service. That's another thing you might want to think about. That is a non-court dispute resolution method where you have one couple, one lawyer, and you reach your agreement that way. So it takes more than one way to skin a cat. I would definitely think about investing in one session, at least a preliminary advice session with a lawyer. I think it's important to have somebody who you trust, who you can sort of say, give me a broad overview about how all of this works, and then I'll go off and start it up myself. I would say this, wouldn't I? We do an unlimited in time session for £360. Now, that would be a big chunk out of your budget. If you think you can get somewhere near you who's less, fine. If you think lawyers are always going to be above your touch, and think about Mackenzie Friend. Some of the paid Mackenzie Friends are really, really, I think they've got a lot going for them, and you can get some really good strategic, like, what should I do advice. Most divorces aren't about, do tell me about some complicated points of law. Most of them are about people wanting what they want. Next, I would always use a lawyer who does a pay-as-you-go situation rather than fixed fees, or just like hand over all your divorce to a lawyer, because that lawyer, if a lawyer is fully representing you, they will burn up your money. £5 won't touch the sides, in my experience. And I think the thing about fixed fees is so much of fixed fee work you can do yourself. Apart from my final point, the consent order. Get the consent order drafted on a fixed fee by a proper lawyer. If it is anything other than a pure, straight, quick, clean break, you need a solicitor's firm that specialises in family law. Please don't use one of the online bish bash bosh people. They're fine for just a pure, clean break. And if that's all you need, because you're both really young, you don't have any children, you've not really got any assets to split, fine. But be careful. As soon as you have something a little bit more tricky and complex, it really does make sense to get a proper solicitor who does family law all the time. So DIY, divorce, get your act together, read around but not too much, get some sort of legal advice or assistance on the side up and running, and see where you can save costs, fees using help with fees, mediation or other non-court dispute resolution. And yeah, it's a tunnel, isn't it? Until you started to go through the tunnel, you can't come through out on the other side. So those are my DIY divorce tips. I hope they've been helpful.